What's up, guys? Boston J from the COC Hog Wars, giving a day 1 and day 2 war recap of November CWL, and just going to be highlighting some of the 3-star attacks that we've seen in 2 days of play so far. This is Pablo coming in using the same attack strategy, or at least a very, very similar attack strategy that we've seen from Maddie in the clan. And our first day, we lost to this clan, AD Air Force, and we did a little research, did a little digging, and learned that these guys went 7-0 in the October CWL. They finished first place. They were in the top maybe 20 or 30 in the world last month, and then just a few other clans. I think at least 3 or 4 of the clans that we're facing finished in first place last month, or at least first or second. And so we know that this is I think it's easy to say this is going to be our hardest CWL by far. And as we talk about each month, as we talk about often, that every month you're in Champions 1, it's just going to be becoming more and more difficult. And the reason being is because there's 3 clans that drop out of Champions 1 every month, and there's only 1 clan that moves up to Champions 1 every month. And so you figure that's 2 clans for every CWL, and if there's 92 different sets of 7, you can just do some math there. I can't do it off the top of my head, but that's a whole bunch of clans that are leaving Champions 1, and only a much smaller amount that is that's entering into it. And so every month there's no such thing as facing a group of clans that's just going to be an easy win. That's no longer a thing, because the very fact that you are if you're in Champions 1, it means that you've survived months. You've survived months and months of going up against the top 1% of clans in the entire game, maybe top 1 or 2%. So we realize this is going to be our hardest month yet, and there's just no getting around it. These clans that we're facing are elite, and there's very little room for error. And not only just not room for error, but you got to find some ways to triple some bases. And so I think on day 1 we had 3 triples, but then we also had a 1-star. Triples from Pablo, Boston J, and D Brands. I love this D Brands. I thought this was such a really cool attack. Coming in with the kill squad and hogs. But it's neat seeing. I thought it was cool, the whole going in without healers. If you can create a good kill squad without having to use healers and still get good value, I mean, that's great, because you're saving on so much troop space. And that's what D Brands did. So great job, guys, on picking up those triples. We did lose. I mean, this guy brought it 36-32. And as I said earlier, what's so interesting about this guy, AD Air Force, is all seems to be 1 dude or maybe 2. Even when he attacked or we attacked, there was never like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people watching attacks in the other clan. At most, I think I saw 1. And that's just really kind of crazy to think that 1 dude could do that. Day 2, we're up against Crady Province, the clan Crady Province. I never heard of these guys. And this is Pablo picking up his 2nd triple in a row using the very same troop composition that he did in the first day. So who knows? Pablo may have found himself a little go-to army here. it's obviously worked well for him so far, which is great. And just when clan leadership was talking, and we realized, there's, as we're looking at the different clans that we're facing, that there's at least 4 clans that we're going up against that we could use the word elite. Not just Champions 1, but we're talking elite clans. And, the COC Hog Wars, we're good. Elite, some days we're knocking on the door of being elite. But there are definitely days and wars where we're not that. And so we just realized, you know what? Sometimes surviving is what you just got to do. You just got to kind of get by. Oh, I didn't mean to ×4 that. Easy, picking up the 3-star. Love it, man. Coming in with the dragons. Different than Pablo's attack. Pablo had 3 different 3 E-drags, sorry. Whereas Pablo was much more just straight up dragon heavy with the back end bat freeze. So this is one of the clans that we're facing right now that lost on day 1, and so we just realized that we have to win this war. It's going to be hard to beat those elite clans that we're going up against, and so you got to we're going to have to pick up W's on some of these clans that finished lower down, in maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place. We've got to beat these guys if we're going to remain in Champions 1. So we saw a triple from Pablo. We just saw this one from Easy. Hayes still has to attack. Sorry, dude. I had to make this video now. Vinny picking up a triple. Great job, man. And I've said this in previous videos, one of the things that's so cool about COC Hog Wars is I was in a clan for just a few years where if there was a 3-star, there was just it was just a small percentage of guys that you could count on or rely on to do that. And what I love about this is, we have just a variety of guys on any given day that are going to be the guys who step up and get the 3. So Pablo did it 2 days in a row. But besides him, it's just different guys that are getting the 3s on day 2. And so that's just a cool thing. That's a good position to be in a clan where really any guy that steps up to the plate is capable of picking up the 3. And so Vinny just kind of barely gets by on this. Well, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Vinny. You didn't just barely get by. 4 dragons and 4 loons is not barely getting by. That's a pretty good 3-star right there. Any 3 is a good 3-star. And then here's Mags. Great job, man. Mags said, when he saw people calling bases, he says, "Oh no, there's no bases left that are good for dragons." And then 10 minutes later, I check my phone again and see this triple from Mags, and so I had to give him a little bit of crap there. I think this is a very, very similar attack as Vinny. I'm not sure if it's the exact same army composition, but still very close. Setting up that good, clear funnel, pushing really hard with the dragons, the delayed stone slammer on one side, the bat freeze on the other, and Mags has been around for a while. He knows this attack, and you know what? As much as he crushed this base, he would have crushed it even more. All of his bats just happened to run into a red bomb, and so this base would have been even more crushed if sometimes you just run into bad luck. I had that happen to me, I think maybe 1 or 2 wars ago. So Mags with a 3. So right now it's 31-31, but we still have an attack left, so we should pick up this W. So great job, COC Hog Wars. Let's keep going and keep rolling and keep winning. Peace.